Kay here. Billus and I went to Chicago for a couple of days. We want to show you how much fun we had. We arrived at the airport around 5 a.m. and prepared for our separate flights as the travel arrangements oddly came together.
So last night when we were looking around and getting a plan, we were talking about where we were going to meet up. And I said, it's a big city. We'll find something.
We still didn't figure it out,
But we did figure out the train line. And we're going to meet up at the Medieval Torture Museum.
And there's a Chick-fil-A next door. If we're in dire straits.
See you in Chicago.
All right.
I'm gonna go.
Sounds good.
Chicago.
Saying goodbye to your best friend is hard, even if it's just for a few hours. So, with a quick smooch, couple of selfie exchanges, we took off with our respective travel routes and a plan to rendezvous in downtown Chicago. This city's architecture is stunning. I'm so glad I was able to take the train into the expansive skyline that grew ever larger upon my approach. While I was tracking Billus's arrival, I took time to transform from gremlin to glam.
I keep checking his location on the app to see where he is. Keep looking in the streets to see if I can see him.
We finally reunited and never more thrilled to share a chicken breakfast. The caffeine and adrenaline had fueled us this far. Now is the time for nutrition. Moments after munching our meal, we took but meager steps to make our way to the Medieval Torture Museum. This place is amazing. The candle effect and the lighting added to the ambiance of the cold metal and grotesque depictions passed behind the gnarled figures, all educating us on the antiquated and inhumane disciplinary practices of previous generations. I strongly suggest downloading the app. The museum provides a self-paced audio tour through the app, which really enhances the experience. There are so many interactive pieces. It's awesome to hear the sordid story of torture as you touch the piece in front of you or walk around the exhibit. I gotta say, this is the most unique bathroom decor I think I have ever seen in any place I have ever visited. I mean, where else would you see a guillotine adorning the wall on your way to the toilet? There were also some classic and iconic torture methods, along with a whole new world of horrors previously unknown to me. Some of them I wish I could unlearn. By the way, did you know the electric chair was invented by a dentist? And no, the Colombian necktie is not a favorable fashion choice. But you betcha, I closed the door while inside the Iron Maiden and maybe, totally, sang out a couple of bars of Trooper and Run to the Hills.
Nope, still a witch. Now you're a Jesus. Now you're a Legend of Zelda.
Right.
After the museum, we made the 2-mile trek by foot to our hotel. We waved at the folks on the ferry and admired the heights of the local skyline. The architecture was impressive, but one of the things that the camera cannot convey is the heat. Mid-June was heavy this year. We checked into the hotel and talked about our knowledge of the city's history, including the ties to Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra himself. Take my heart, but please don't break it.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts indeed. Billus surprised me and booked us some last-minute tickets to that night's Cubs game inside Wrigley Field. I was so excited to finally get the chance to check out what was behind those historic, ivy-covered walls.
Okay, this is my first time inside Wrigley, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's hot. Yes, people suck. But this is cool. Yes. It is hot. It is sunset at Wrigley, but still, dreams are coming true. This is just beautiful.
Oh no!
Okay, if this is how it is, just for a regular play, I totally understand why the Bartman Ball was a thing.
It was hot, it was crowded, it was expensive. It was a memory I will cherish for my life. By the time we made the anxiety-inducing train ride back to the hotel, we had just enough energy to share a charcuterie in bed amongst a multitude of giggles, delusional from all the excitement from our first day. The next morning, I was off to class for work while Billus enjoyed a leisurely lunch at a local pizza place. He was so thoughtful and brought back leftovers. I am a biased pizza lover, but even cold, this pizza was really awesome.
Oh no.
After class, Billus and I chilled and chatted about our respective days, then changed for a night of adventures on foot. The first step was to meet up with my newly acquainted classmates and stroll over to a downtown brew house. It was wonderful to get to know these folks. We started the day as complete strangers and ended the same day feeling like friends. We shared a pint and some stories. I had to try the banana bread at work, dude, seasonal lager. Then we made our way to rendezvous with another group of strangers for a 2-hour walking tour. This city has so much to see and never a shortage of interesting things happening. This tour touched on a handful of the many tales that can be told from the prolific pages of Chicago's dark history. Chris, with a K, did a phenomenal job leading the Chicago Gangsters and Ghosts guided walking tour. Each stop, we learned about crime, corruption, bloodshed, and brutal deaths that took place on the very grounds where we were walking. Some of the stories more recognizable, like Al Capone, the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, H.H. Holmes, as well as some lesser-known tragedies that caused hundreds of deaths, like the sinking of the SS Eastland and the burning of the Iroquois Theater, where we paused in the infamous Alley of Death. It wasn't all death and deviance on the tour. We got a chance to slide down a piece of modern art designed by Pablo Picasso. Then we were treated to savor a taste of luxury by cooling off in the air-conditioned rooms of the lobby of the famous Palmer House, the alleged birthplace of the decadent dessert, the brownie. We had such an awesome time on the walking tour. I did get the chance to ask our tour guide where he got his source material. He told me he does his own research and writes his own scripts. I told him I was impressed, and while I would not be fact-checking him, I certainly would be citing him on an upcoming episode of the Queso podcast. Walking back to our hotel, we felt really happy about our whirlwind pass through Chicago, how we really made the most of it, and decided to not even think about the next day's trek back home. But indeed, the morning arrived right on time, and I prepared for the second day of class and immediately hopping a plane back to OKC. Once we got to our separate airports, we FaceTimed between flights, snacks, and selfie swaps.
Oklahoma City, on time.
It ended up being a somewhat charming moonlit ride down into Oklahoma City before I made my way back into my sweetheart's arms. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned, more content coming soon.